Hi Taurus, welcome to your quantum reading with me, Jocelyn, the Quantum Queen. So, as you guys know, this is for Taurus, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Oh, yep, that's the one I'm gonna take. And as always, welcome to my cross watchers. Cross watcher, you could be dealing with a Taurus, and the message could actually be for you. So feel free to take it however it resonates with you and your situation. Keep in mind that these are timeless readings, so whenever you come across the message is probably when you are meant to hear it. If you guys would like to book a one-on-one reading with me, you can find my information down below in the description box. And just wanted to say thank you for liking, subscribing, and thank you for all the good karma donations. I appreciate it so, so much. So Taurus, let's dive in. Let's see what else comes out to kind of complement this. Not that one. Oh, little ding. Okay. Okay, let's see. Ooh, that is the one right there. Okay, is that not hilarious? So there was that frog again. So Taurus, I think what's happening is there's something that I think happened maybe recently, or maybe something that's going to be coming up for you in the new week. But I feel like it's a repeat type of a thing. You guys know the movie Groundhog's Day, how it's like his life is on repeat. And it's like, Taurus, I think what happens is you keep coming to experiences where you're repeating something over and over again. Like you're repeating some type of cycle. And what happens is it's like your shadow is coming up. So that can look in a million different ways. Like maybe you have the same type of fear or a trigger that comes up. Maybe you have some type of anger that comes up. Maybe you have something where you almost get in some type of habit or pattern. And look how perfect it is. Like what he does. See how he's almost like, I almost want to say he's eating, but it's like that heart that he's gripping in his hand. There's something about your process, Taurus, where you continue to repeat the same cycle over and over again. And you might feel like when it comes to this area of your life, you feel like your life is on repeat. Like you keep seeing the same exact thing happen over and over and over again. And it's because of the shadow. It's because what happens is when you start to approach your shadow, it's just like the groundhog. He sees his shadow and he goes back down underground into unconsciousness. That's what I'm seeing is happening for you. Because once the trigger comes up, you actually lose quite a bit of consciousness. And that's why this card is perfect. Like apparently Spirit was like, this is the one, Joss, quit putting it back in. But it's clear out the clutter. There's what I'm going to take from that. The frog is all about healing. Okay, it's a very healing energy, but it also is like timeline jumping, you know. It's hopping. It's like you need to take a look at the thing, Taurus, that leads up to this point and make changes at the very, very beginning when it comes to actually the thought. So for example, for some of you guys, you could be getting like some type of intuition or an impulse to do something or change something. And it's like you keep hearing it over and over again in your mind. And you keep kind of pushing it off to the side. And that's a part of the cycle that pulls you into all of this. Because eventually it manifests bigger and bigger, right? It gets bigger and bigger because the more you push against it and reject it, the bigger of a shadow it creates. Does that all make sense? Because I always talk about in my videos, a shadow is the low vibrational emotions of shame, guilt, and fear that's stored in the cells of your body. And that's created from your thoughts. Your thoughts create a brain chemical and that gets released into your body, stored in the cells. So if that accumulates, those brain chemical releases, eventually it turns into a full-blown manifestation out in your 3D reality. So that's what I feel like is happening. clearing out the clutter, it's something where maybe even for some of you that is literal, like you're being pulled or pushed to get rid of someone or get rid of something, or even just clearing out the clutter in your life, and you might be resisting it, and it's almost like spirit might be preparing you in a way for spring, which I know is like a long time away, especially those in the northern hemisphere. You're probably like, Jocelyn, like, we've got a long time until spring comes, like February, when it is actually Groundhog's Day. But this is a time for preparation of that. So get your ducks in a row. Like, don't just settle down and hibernate. This is actually a really good time to take action and get prepared for next year, because I keep getting next year is a really, really big year. It's 2020, which means it's a 4-year. And it's all about grounded stability for the collective as a whole. Okay, so let me just set these up now that I've rambled pretty good and long on those two. Let me just see if anything else is popping out to me. Taurus, I'm going to get one more card. Bear with me, because I do feel like maybe there's a little bit more clarification on what you're clearing out. So let me see what comes out here. So just bear with me for 1 second. That one. Owl spirit, you see clearly now. Okay, so Taurus, what do I want to say about this? Well, first off, it's pretty self-explanatory. Like, there's something, maybe it's even after this reading, you're going to see very clearly into what the thing is that you need to start clearing out of your life. But do you know what I'm actually getting? I do feel like this is an outside person, Taurus. And usually I would go on and say, oh, the owl is so wise and has this deep perception. And I do feel like there's the entanglement, Taurus, like you do have that ability to really see clearly into maybe someone's intentions or that type of thing. But Taurus, I actually feel like there's an outside influence that you are maybe just getting a different perception about. It's interesting. A lot of people's reads have been pretty similar to this, as far as veils coming down, you know, deception. It's like perceiving into the deception or whatever has maybe seemed unclear to you for a long time. It's all about, we're getting perspective shifts into how we operate in our lives, like even unhealthy habits, patterns, and dynamics that we fall into. So maybe, Taurus, that's something that you're coming to a realization about in your life. And you're starting to see that it's just getting more and more clear that it's influencing you maybe more than you want to admit. And yeah, it's always uncomfortable in a way when you have to start making changes and really taking a look at things. It's like you can't hide from your shadow anymore. You know too much, Taurus. Pretty much is what I wanted to say. Like, you know too much to go back. So maybe that's something that's been happening lately. There's been information just dropping in your lap that's helping you to see something about maybe a person in your life, or even things about yourself, your own shadow. And it's like you just can't hide from it anymore. There's no hiding. You're having to confront it. And nobody likes this, but it's so good. And I know that, like, I'm just a tarot reader, and I am trying to make you guys feel positive about this to an extent. But there is a lot of positivity that comes to this, okay? Because in the long run, Taurus, it is for your greater good to release certain things from your life, because it's going to help you to feel more happy and satisfied ultimately. Okay. And you just want to slip down, okay? See what we can get that comes out here. Man, this keeps happening today. It's like they're just clumps of cards that are popping out, and I just want to be more specific. Okay, so I'm going to take these two, but man, this Two of Swords has been really popular too. Queen of Swords. So you are clearing out the clutter. I am struggling with that word. Not clutter, but it is interesting. Maybe you are cutting something or someone out of your life, Taurus. That really has been a theme in a lot of the reads, because especially that Two of Swords. I think that, oh, do you know what I'm actually hearing? This is different, okay? I actually feel like someone's going to be coming in to communicate with you. Someone that has maybe, there's been blockages in communication maybe for a while. Someone's going to be coming in and communicating to you. It could be an air sign, which I wouldn't be surprised too with the Owl and now with the Queen of Swords, so like an Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. But it wouldn't, and again, it doesn't surprise me because we've got Mercury retrograde, so that's all about things from the past. And that's why I want to say that it is someone that you previously known, because you guys have maybe been blocked for a while and that's being released. It's like maybe the door is opening up to communication. And Taurus, this is taking a completely different turn. There's that part of the spread, but this is someone I feel different, not necessarily someone you need to cut out or anything like that. Let me get some more clarification, because I'm getting a completely different... Oh, man. Freaking come on, cards. Work with me here. Yeah, it's interesting. Okay, I am going to take those two. It could... Don't get caught up by the gender. It could be male or female. But this is... I do want to say it's someone from your past. Someone that maybe you've felt really disappointed about them leaving your life. And you felt maybe rejected by them in some way, shape, or form, or vice versa. You know, these energies really can be reversed. And I think what's happened, Taurus, is, so, right, we've got the Queen of Wands next. It also could be a fire sign, an Aries, Leo, Sag, just throwing that out there. But it's someone where you almost felt very, like, empowered by them. Like, maybe they inspired you in some way, shape, or form, or but what's interesting is, okay, and this could be either you or them, because it's interesting that we have two queens coming out here. I want to say that, like I said, this could apply either way. So either you, Taurus, maybe were a bit like cold and distant because maybe behind in your own shadow is that you maybe felt jealous. Maybe this was the other person, Kate, don't shoot the messenger. But maybe there was a little bit of envy here, because there's very different energies here. The Queen of Wands can be very attractive, charismatic, center of attention. And what's interesting is I feel like a part of you maybe has blocked them out of your life. And the Queen of Swords, she's like cold on the surface, but underneath she's actually very sensitive and very like nurturing. She's the transformation from the Queen of Cups to the Queen of Swords. So like there's an empath hiding underneath the surface. But just because you know how much you've been through in your life, you've probably had to learn how to put up boundaries. But there is this almost sadness and disappointment about the connection not being closer. Something along those lines. But it's interesting because what I'm getting from this Five of Cups is that it never really left. I don't know why. I don't usually pick that up from that card. But it's like you guys might have distanced maybe in communication. But energetically, the connection has always been there. And maybe the heart connection, because the Five of Cups, that's the Two of Cups right there behind. So it's like the connection has always remained, but maybe just temporarily for whatever reason that you guys were going through your own kind of processes. And so the communication stopped for quite a while. So maybe that's even part of what's happening, Taurus. Like and maybe it's like a deep friendship or a family member, just someone that you've maybe been at odds with, or just maybe it doesn't even have to be something like negative. There just was a lack of communication. Like maybe you guys were just distant from each other for a while. But it's interesting, and I wanted to pull these before. It's fascinating that they're coming out now. This always happens. So here it is, right? We've got the Eight of Cups, walking away in the past, but it's coming back. Judgment card, resurrection. Does not surprise me with the Mercury retrograde. Now, here's my disclaimer about these. I always throw this out there because you got the Ten of Cups. This is emotional fulfillment. When this resurfaces, when this comes back into your life, you're going to have that, like the Two of Cups right there. You're going to feel kind of like rejuvenation of the connection again. Here's my disclaimer, okay? I talk quite a bit about trauma bonds, and especially during Mercury retrograde, there's a lot of relationships that come back from the past that are straight up narcissists. They come back in to see if they can, you know, pull you back in. That's why I call it Hoover season, because it is the time where people start reminiscing, because it's a time where manifestations start becoming magnifying. So if you have fears of rejection and abandonment, which a narcissist does, they probably get rejected and abandoned during this time of Mercury retrograde. So then they start kind of panicking and reaching out to all of their resources to see who they can get energy from. So that's why I always throw that out there. Be very discerning, and that's why I love that owl card. See very clearly into people's intentions. Who's reaching out to you from the past? You know, which ones are the connections that are really worth salvaging and keeping in your life? You know, which ones are the genuine ones that truly care about your happiness? Like, there's that mutual kind of understanding that both of you just want the best of each other. That's what this reading is about. Okay, not a narcissist that's putting on a mask. Make that very, very clear. It's someone who genuinely, you were sad that they left, and vice versa. They're coming back in, and it almost is gonna feel like everything picks up right from where it left off. It's like there is no real ending and beginning with your guys' relationships. It's so easy and smooth and flowy that you guys just might have things that you're working through from your past, like old trauma, that causes you to go through periods of time where you disconnect. Does that make sense? So Taurus, I'm going to go ahead and leave that there. I'm going to dive into the extended with this. If you guys want to join me over there, feel free. Go down below, click on the Vimeo link, and I'll see you on the other side. But Taurus, if this is where we leave things, I'm sending you guys so much love. Wishing you all the very best, and I'll see you in your next reading. Take care.